was like not someone that should be playing at an open mic. You know what I mean? Like you're just like all of a sudden you're just like, oh man.
And why did you move to Seattle? How come?
Uh, it was a life change, and I just needed to move in general, and then specifically Seattle because I loved the music that came from there, and I just imagined it being this, glorious musical mecca, which it turned out it was, and half because I'd been there and it was just breathtakingly beautiful compared to like these epic forests that like blend right into the city, right on the water and the sound and mountains all around. Just all of that was just kind of inspiring in general.
So what bands were you into then from Seattle?
Dead Cap for Cutie, Modest Mouse, Minus the Bear, and then bands that like weren't Seattle bands, but I still thought of them as related to Seattle because they were on Sub Pop, like the Shins and a bunch of other things like that.
Well, then there is an open mic over there in Conan Burn Pub.
Yeah, Connor Burn Pub.
Why did you decide, to open mic over there?
Well, I was going to grad school. I realized that all I was going to do once I graduated grad school was go back to working in an office, which was, I should have thought before I started going to grad school, and but I didn't. But like once I realized that, my brain kind of like shut off the interest that I had in it because it just seemed like another way to siphon me back into this thing, and something like switched in me, and I'd been writing songs all along kind of, but just in my bedroom, and I would record them and no one would ever hear them. And after like a few years off of really playing in front of people, I kind of just felt this need to like, there's something different. There's one thing that's rewarding about writing a song to like get whatever it is out of you that you needed to say. And then there's another part of each time you play the song or perform the song, it gets better and it gets different and it gets honed. And so I just wanted to kind of try my hand at that. And I had a friend who remarked that she hadn't played music in a long time, and so the two of us kind of started. She'd like learn to sing on my songs or play piano on my songs, and then we just would go to the open mic, and it was just like a way of in a very small way, like getting that like itch to play music satisfied. And you could do it every week. You could do it a couple times a week if you found a couple of open mics to go to. It was definitely, it's not most of the people that go to open mics, I think, aren't necessarily, someone that you'd enjoy watching, or it's more true of some open mics than others, but it was still just like the only outlet that I had to really play in front of people. So
sounds good. What do you think of when you saw Jonathan perform over there? Was he good?
Yeah, he had this. Everyone, I think, kind of had this like kind of singer-songwriter voice, or like everyone. Their voices didn't sound the same, but they all kind of sung in the same. Sort of meant it, sort of nervous on stage, sort of whatever, and he came in and he had just this like air and tone and assuredness to his voice, and there was something there that like it was like not someone that should be playing at an open mic. You know what I mean? Like he just like all of a sudden you're just like, oh man, and then the songs were really good too. So it was one of those things that, you're like sitting there in the bar talking your way through the people playing before it's your turn to play, and all of a sudden like you hear something and you're just like kind of like turn and watch it for a while.
And what did you think of your music?
I mean, you'd have to ask him. He liked it enough to start playing with me, at least.
No, but I think you must have discussed it. I don't know, what did he say?
I don't know what he thought the first time that he heard it. I know that when we started playing together, I've heard him say in interviews before, like, that and I agree with this sentiment, but it was this weird way of like, he had one way of thinking about songs, and I had this like coming from the opposite approach, so that, you know, like if he'd hit a wall, all of the suggestions that I could think to make were the perfect way of breaking through that wall, because his brain would stop at some point from the direction that he was coming, and then mine would like take it on from there, and vice versa, to where, you know, like whether it's the structure of the song or coming up with a melody or a hook, like he could finish a sentence that I started or vice versa. And I feel like we both kind of, as we started playing together, really grew as songwriters, because you had these two perspectives.